Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Finster, Pinterest, SoundCloud, SoundClick. It's your boy Tom 202. And my neighbors, you can hear one of them talking right now. I don't understand a word she's saying. And, that wasn't a problem until yesterday, where, uh, she had left her light on in her car. And my other neighbor was like, yo, tell her she left her light on in her car, and I knocked on her door. She couldn't understand a word I was saying. And the little boy, he was around, and he's Hispanic, and he speaks, English and Spanish, because his father, doesn't understand English very well, but he was born here, so he was our translator. And it just, and what's really crazy is the husband speaks English very well, but the wife doesn't. And they had, we had to call the fire department twice. I had to, because they had left something on the stove, and I was smelling it. I was like, oh, the house is on fire. My house. It just happened to be that, there's whatever was on their stove was burning. And, I can smell it because I live next door, and the walls are very thin, and it was coming through my walls. So if the house was on fire, smoke would start coming through, to my house. And you can get, most people die from the smoke. They don't die from the actual fire. Smoke inhalation, I think that's what it's called. But nonetheless, people die from the actual smoke first. And, and then the fire does what it does, but it's the smoke that kills people first. They can't breathe, suffocate, asphyxiation, whatever. But nonetheless, it just hit me that I need to learn another language. I need to learn how to talk to my neighbors. Because, even though it was just her light was on in her car, it's not a big deal until you need your car and your batteries. Batteries drain, you can get a jump. But what if she was the only one home, and her kid, and they have a child too, and what if she was the only one home, and something was really popping, and she couldn't understand a word I was saying, and it was nobody around to help me? And this is my neighbor, like we live in the same, you know what I'm saying? We live in the same building. And when you look at it on a wider scale, you have to think, how many of us live in close quarters with people who do not understand English, and or we don't understand their language, because we have so many people who migrate and immigrate here to the United States from other countries, whether legally or illegally. Donald Trump, they're here, and as citizens, we ain't got no beef with them. We just, but see, that's where beef starts with people. And I have no issues with my neighbor at all. They're great people. They just happen to leave stuff on the stove and then fall asleep. And I'm like, you can't do that. But I have no beef with them. But a lot of times when an issue starts with people, it's because of a language barrier. It's simply because somebody didn't understand what they meant. That's it. And that's it. And there has been, people who, and I'm not saying this is the case, I'm just saying things escalate when you don't understand what somebody else is saying. And that's not my case here, but it has been the case on countless issues. And now I feel the need, because in case of an emergency, her and her child don't really speak good English. And it just kind of, I don't know, it bothered me. So I was listening to some cartoons today while I was playing StarCraft. I was listening to a cartoon and they were speaking, you know, Espanol, and I was like, okay, how did I get here? You know, because it just, you know, how you play one video and it just keeps going to something else, and it got to this cartoon. And I said, okay, I'm just going to keep listening to it because I was in the middle of my game. And then I said, I need to learn what these people are saying. I need to learn how to speak Spanish. You know, I tried to get a couple lessons from the you know the little boy that lives around here. He taught me trabajo. I guess that means work. So you know, I need to know. You know, let me put it like this: when I went to Germany, the first thing they give you when you're a soldier in Germany is uh, they give you manuals on how to speak German. What they don't tell you is the Germans speak fluent English, but you don't speak fluent German. So even if the Germans are taught English as a second language, like most countries are, but nonetheless, we are not taught a second language. When I was in high school, we're not taught a second language, like a mandatory second language. And now there are so many Hispanic speaking, black, white, uh, you name it. There's just so many countries that speak Espanol as a first language. You just need to learn it. And for situations like this, you know, where, you know, like I said, you're living in close quarters with someone and living right next to them, and you don't speak their language, there could be a misunderstanding, and or in you need to tell them like there's an emergency, and you can't do it because you don't speak their language. Like she did not know what I was saying. So I am gonna take it upon myself, it's incumbent upon me to learn Spanish. For the simple reason, there's too many of them, and a lot of them don't speak fluent English. So I really need to know how to communicate with them because it's just imperative that there is no misunderstandings that can be helped between, you know, the two nationalities. Yeah, and I might even pick up a third language. I used to know German, so it's just something I've been thinking about. It's your boy Tone 202.